You may call this a coincidence, but I call it fate. I'm going to explain how these things tie together. Attending SHOT Show, the world's largest firearm trade show. Watching an episode of The Sean Ryan Show. And partnering with the Armory Project. These three things came together in my life to allow me to help members of our community reduce the risk of suicide by firearm. Now, before I get into detail on how this works, if you are going through a mental health crisis, immediately call the number 988. You can also text that number. You are not alone. My name is Frank Latella. I'm a firearms instructor and the owner of Boynton Guns. I am proud to say that we are the first FFL gun store in the entire state of Florida to partner with the Armory Project. A gun owner who may be feeling suicidal knows that they need help, but they may not want to reach out for many reasons, including they don't want their guns to be confiscated. They don't want their guns to be taken. I don't want my guns to be taken away with government intervention. So what we do through the Armory Project is voluntary and temporary out-of-home storage. The government is not involved in this. You contact us. You bring your firearms in. We talk about it, sign a simple agreement, and we hold on to it. We hold on to it for an agreed amount of time or as long as you need to. And when you are feeling better and when you are able to pick that gun up, it's yours. The Armory Project helps bridge the gap between responsible gun ownership and mental health. You see, nobody associates a gun store and the gun store employees with mental health support, right? Of course, we're not certified, we're not counselors, but we are here to talk to you. But more importantly, we're here to listen to you. This is not the same as a risk protection or a red flag law. Law enforcement is not notified of this. This is storage, not surrender. You come in, no questions, no judgment. We're doing this because temporary off-site storage of firearms is proven to reduce the risk of suicide. Sometimes simply putting time and distance between the person in crisis and the firearm is all that it takes. So I want to explain how I was introduced to the Armory Project. So I, as a firearm industry professional, I attended SHOT Show, which is the largest firearm trade show in the world. There's estimated to be approximately 55,000 people attending over the course of several days. It's something that I wanted to attend for a long time. Timing wasn't great. So this past January 2025, I went. Every firearm manufacturer you can think of, every company that makes holsters and ammunition and anything and everything firearm, law enforcement, military related is there. I read something that said when you go through all the aisles and different floors, it's approximately 13 miles of places to walk and things to see. The SHOT Show allows you to walk around and make connections with industry professionals to help grow the business. Now, they also offer additional courses. Some of them are free, so you sit down in a side room and they talk about, like for example, Trigicon did a presentation on their red dot optics, and there's a couple other things that I attended. One of them, I believe the name was New Efforts in the Industry, in the Firearm Industry, to help reduce suicide. So that event costed money. It wasn't much, but it caught my eye and I was intrigued by it. So I decided to sign up. Now, when you're walking in, this is at the Venetian Hotel, it's huge. I mentioned earlier, roughly 55,000 people. When you're walking, you're twisting your body and there's so many people there. But in the event that the Armory Project put on, I looked around, there was maybe 50, 60 people in a room that could have held maybe 1,000. And that was an eye-opener even before the presentation started. Because my thought is everybody wants the cool. Everybody wants to see the flashy things, the new guns that just came out. But everybody was aware that this presentation existed, and many just chose not to attend. And as I'm sitting listening to the founders of the Armory Project, and there were some other people there, mental health professionals that really weren't in the firearm industry, but they were speaking together. And I'm like, 15 minutes into this presentation, I'm like, yep, I'm going to be a part of it. I'm signing up. And immediately I spoke to them, and I'm happy to be a part of it. I'm happy to be the first one in the state of Florida. All right, so this next thing is crazy. Is it a coincidence? Is it some type of divine intervention? Well, you tell me. So this was maybe day 2 or 3 of SHOT Show, and we're walking around all day. I'm talking 8 hours. We're like, all right, anything else we should see? We're going to come back early in the morning, so let's head out. And as we're walking, I glance and I see a gentleman sitting on the ground. And we make eye contact, and immediately I say, you were on the Sean Ryan Show. I'm sorry, but I can't remember your name. He jumps up, shakes my hand, and says, Blake Cook, nice to meet you. And I said, I watched the entire 3 hours or so of that episode. And he says, wow, thank you for watching. That's a long time. And I want you to, even in the description of this video, I'll link that podcast episode so you can watch it. But just a quick, brief information about it. In that episode, Blake is explaining to Sean how he almost took his own life.
I wanted somebody to hear the gunshot, and I wanted somebody to call the police, and I wanted somebody to find me before the birds come in and eat me away. I bowed my head on the steering wheel, and I said, God, please forgive me. I'm in pain. I don't want to go to hell. Please don't send me to hell for this. I'm just hurting. And I said, amen. And I went to grab the gun. My hand grabs the gun. My phone rings. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. My phone made a noise. I grabbed my phone.
I met him, and the very next day is when I attended the presentation for the reducing efforts of suicide. Now, keep in mind, I signed up for this event when I bought the tickets, let's say 4 or 5 months prior. I appreciate you watching until the end of this video. Please consider subscribing to this channel. Subscriptions do not cost anything. It's just a way to follow the channel. I post a lot of content regarding firearms, both firearm training as well as things that are happening within the firearms industry, self-defense content, and a lot of things in between. If you know somebody who is going through a mental health crisis, of course, first have them contact the number 988 through phone or text, and go to the Armory Project's website. I'm going to list that in the description of this video in case they are not near Boynton Guns in Florida. There are some other locations that can help. Be safe, guys. Be vigilant, and keep in mind that you are your own first responder.